Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, this is TMI. We're about to start off today's discussion. We're going to really start off definitely with electricity hike. People have been talking about the price, 225. Is it kilowatt now or what? Whatever I want to calculate it per hour. Like what I said, do the maths. If you go, let's say, to have light, if we're going to have light or power supply for 24 hours, it's above 5,000 naira. Well above 5,000 naira per day. Multiply by 30 days, or well, let's say 31 days based on the days of the month. It will at least clock up to, let's say, over 100,000. From calculation, over 100,000 and multiply by a year, 12 months. So it means for able to get that power for 24 hours, over millions will be paid if you're in band A. Now, we don't know which one is band A even. Can you? Because nobody's telling us anything about band A, band B, band C. Okay, let's come down to, let's say, 12 hours or 10 hours, roughly above 2,000 a day. But for 30 days, or 31 days as the case may be, roughly over 60,000 per 1 year. Do the math, you know what I'm talking about. Even bring it down to 5 hours, and you are still in band A. Do the maths, roughly over 1,000 bucks times 30, over, let's say, 30,000 times 12. You're paying hundreds of thousands per year. And don't forget that these people can be a little bit confusing and deceptive. Thank God for sharp person that were able to pinpoint their flaws in Lagos as they got to make this announcement. It is not company immediately converted almost everyone in a particular area to band A. They were like, come, who told you to do this in the first place? These people that are supposed to be in band B, E, D, C, turning them to band A, how? And of course, they were sanctioned. They were told to repay them through tokens. And that might be the plan of these persons because of the greed. Anyway, let me analyze throw more light on this. I have with me in the studio 2 legal practitioners. Let me start by introduction, introducing the one that is sitting very close to me, Barrister Emmanuel Obakpalo. He's a political affairs commentator, human rights activist. Barrister, welcome to TMI on this edition. I appreciate your coming.
It's a delight being here. Good morning.
All right. So very close to him is Barrister Douglas Obankwa, political affairs commentator, human rights activist. Welcome to TMI on this edition.
Actually,
Yeah, you be like elusive sort of because we give over how many invites have I sent to you? Be like, well, I'm busy. Well, I'm be well. It's good to have you here. Yeah, you're making a good point. Reinvention is sacrosanct, you know. But let me start up with Barrister Emmanuel Obakpalo. Hike 225 per 8 kilowatt now per hour. Multiply by 24, multiply by 20, multiply by 10. Nigerians at the receiving end, a minimum wage is still very much minimum. Take it up from there.
Unfortunately, Nigeria is the only country in the globe where the leaders will just come up with policies without first ensuring that there's a master plan to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigeria. I still remember in 2014, President Bola Tinubu, then Senator Bola Tinubu, retired, campaigned against former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. And they told Nigerians so many things against the government then. And today, we've come to witness these same persons in power. They have gone beyond, far beyond what they alleged, complained about then President Goodluck Jonathan's policies. You can imagine, Nigerians are still gasping for breath with the subsidy removal. And yet, just now, this same administration has come up with another inflicting pains. Just like the biblical story when Jeroboam became the king in Israel, and the elders went to meet him and said, your father dealt with us with a whip. Can you please reduce our burden? And he told the elders to go. they should come back in a week time. And in a week time they came. And he told them, yes, my father dealt with you with a whip, but I'm going to deal with you with the sting of a scorpion. And in fact, this is even more than the sting of a scorpion that this administration is dealing with Nigerians. It's now the poison of the cobra. And Nigerians are really not finding it easy. Nigerians are not, though they've succeeded in weaponizing poverty and using the instrument of religion and ethnicity to separate Nigeria. We just witnessed what happened in Senegal, where the people came out to say no. Even when the election is to be postponed, the people protested and said no. And the government of the day allowed the voice of the people to prevail. But in Nigeria, they have so divided us that even the voice of the people now cannot even assemble, talk more of prevailing. People are really not finding it easy. Things are getting tougher, harder, and they will tell you in so time. This government told us that when with the wave of the palm subsidy was removed, they said, oh, there is going to be palliative. Till today, where is the palliatives? I didn't believe them from day one, because the same crop of persons who hid Indomie during what do you call it, COVID-19. Why should I not believe those people to come and provide palliative for people of Nigeria? What is even palliatives? And every day they come up with policies that are not people friendly. Yet Nigerians are just taking it hook, line, and sinker. People are dying. If you go to the hospital, people cannot afford hospital bill. But they come up with flimsy excuses, come up with promises that they themselves know. They say, just tell them that. And you see how boastful the Minister for Power is when he was telling Nigeria about the electricity hike. So Nigerians are really not finding it easy. I don't think this is the time that a reasonable government will come up with a policy like this when we are still battling with the subsidy removal policy, and when people are dying, people are going through hell in Nigeria. Come on, in this country we saw this same administration use almost 200 million naira to buy one SUV car for members of the National Assembly, and yet here are Nigerians suffering. How much is minimum wage? Every day we set this committee to regularize, to look at the minimum wage. Then when it comes to the people, they will tell you there is no money. But when it comes to them, there is so much money to throw around. So Nigerians are really not finding this funny. And I think the government should rescind its decision towards this electricity hike. Even the light will not see it. We pay for what we don't even see. Prepaid meter is not there. They cannot give Nigerians prepaid meter. Some of us bought prepaid meter, even from the so-called BEDC. We bought it through our nose. So it's really not a funny exercise. They should rescind this policy and let Nigerians breathe, for goodness sake.
All right. I'll come back to you, Barrister Emmanuel Obakpolo. Barrister Douglas, you heard him. He's like, you're not so happy with the situation. Many Nigerians are not happy with the situation. So what do you have to say about this particular Herculean, so to speak, right now, mountain before Nigerians?
Thank you very much, Wilson. I actually feel like one of the fulcrum of any government is empathy. And it's very important that the federal government should be empathetic towards its people. The removal of subsidy, I was one of those that feel like it was too sudden. But in any case, there was rumors or allegations that there were a lot of fraud going on. That's why the president is that way. My friend in Ineffective talked about the issue of palliatives. The palliatives may have been stolen by some palliatives, T-H-I-E-V-S, thieves, because they were actually palliatives released to National Assembly members, to governors. Now, you see, whenever we discuss this country, we always look at Tinubu, the president of Nigeria. We agree that the president is the one that brings about general policy for the federal government. We must understand that. We have 36 state governors, and we have 774 local government chairmen. Are you with me, sir? We have 109 senators, and we have 360 members of the House of Representatives. You understand? So the question you ask is, what is the role of these leaders in the governance spectrum? Having said that, I am of the opinion that the current rise or the increase is unacceptable. I am someone, I'm a populist person. The people are suffering a lot. We should at least have some kind of, should I say, some level of tolerance for your people's day-to-day activities. So the concept that subsidy all over the world, subsidy is a fulcrum of economic activities. There are countries that subsidize local flight tickets. That is why you see local flight tickets in Europe, especially, they are very cheap. You hear things like 10 euro, 20 euro, 30, 50 euro. That's how cheap it is. They are subsidized. In America, farming, especially one that has to do with foods that everybody eats, like wheat, rice, they are subsidized. So the problem, I think, is not the fact that we have subsidy. The problem is the management of subsidy. Having also said that, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Nigerians should do some, what I call, energy audits, conserving energy. How can you have one switch controlling 20 bulbs? You are the one killing yourself. You should have, if you have like 20 bulbs, you should have like at least 5 switches or 4 switches, so that you know that when you take one out, you still have some left. That's one thing Nigerians don't know how to do. How can your refrigerator work all through the night when you are not drinking water in your dreams? Do you understand? You should be able to put your refrigerator off at a particular time so that you conserve energy. Why will your security light be on while it is daylight? You understand? It's 7 a.m., 10 a.m., your security light is on.
You're talking about an ideal society, an ideal country.
No, I'm talking about I'm coming, sir.
Yes.
I'm coming, sir. You talked about 12 hours.
Yes.
Power supply, right?
So I'm saying 20 hours, but some people have it.
What I'm saying right now, they should actually pay for it. I'm giving them free advice.
Okay.
Yes. This is something that I've done practically. As a lawyer for clients, I advise them, and their bill goes down. Then if you have a problem with the integrity of your meter, you feel, because your meter can run more than the ordinary, you can write to the service provider, BEDC, IBEDC, ABEDC, EEBDC, and tell them, I do not trust the integrity of the meter. So you would come with your own expert, they will come with their expert, and they will check. If you are, is it a postpaid customer, you can challenge the bill and tell them, because the kind of bill they give to you if you are postpaid is best of judgment. There is no parameter, there's no empirical parameter to calculate your bill. Unlike if you were prepaid, you just put in your digits, your units come on. As postpaid, they will just think, I said, how much will give this person this year? No, give her 2 million. 10. They will just, whatever they like, they give to you. You should challenge the bill sometimes. And these are ways of trying to get by while we're looking at the institutional framework of BEDC or whatever. Then we should also demand from the service providers better services. Because what we find is that the service providers are mostly lackadaisical. Why should the transformer go off when there is light, for example? You know what they now do? They do rationing of light. Why should the transformer go off for 6 hours? And ordinarily you have put on the transformer, and you wouldn't know, for example. There should be a way for you to know. People are paying a lot. Nigerians pay more, I might tell you, for power than anything else in this country, perhaps the other one being fuel. Then we should be able to demand from them that they should make sure that services are top-notch. And it shouldn't be this kind of things that they are doing right now. I have had a lot of issues with them as a practitioner and even as a customer. Are you with me, sir? We should, as citizens, there should be increase in consumer rights protection, consumer rights advocacy, even the federal government. If you feel And that's my take about it. Governance is not, there's no small clique that runs the country. Every Nigerian has a stake in the governance of this country. If you feel strongly about it, you can even go to court and challenge it and say, no, this is unacceptable. You can protest to the National Assembly, you can protest to the State House of Assembly, but what I would not encourage is violence, because that does not serve anybody well. You can have a peaceful protest and say, this is unacceptable. So I am even more interested in the service providers because they are ripping us off. You can imagine a hotel. There are hotels in this town that pay up to 10 million naira every month. Facilities 2 million, 3 million. When I do a best of judgment calculation of just few houses and few companies, I'm like, so we'll make a lot of money. And we don't get value for this money.
All right. You heard him. He gave some tips on conserving power. Talked about us being over there that you can challenge, the estimates given by these distributors of power if you really know what you ought to do part-time. Now, what do you feel about his own suggestions?
Well, while my learned friend was talking, giving me his own opinion on what he thinks to better life for Nigerians, including both of us and your very self, you interjected and said that is in an ideal situation.
Yes.
The question now is, are we in an ideal society? And my answer is a no. We are not in an ideal society. A society where government has been lifted above the people. The government of Nigeria is far, far ahead the people of Nigeria. In that kind of situation, do you now anticipate an ideal situation? The answer is no. We have 3 tiers of government. We have federal government, we have state government, we have local government. Which of them is close to the people? Not even the local government is close to the people. Now we are talking of electricity distribution. They have come up with a class to tell us that, look, we have categories of persons in different groups of distribution. They call it band A, band B, band C, band D, maybe to band AZ, we'll soon know. But beneath it, we are meant to understand, just as they have told us now that it is only those, the rich, that will be in band A. But the master plan is that in 3 years' time, every Nigerian will be in that band A. Is that not deception? So we cannot keep crossing our legs, folding our hands, and keeping mute. And government will come up with policies that are not people friendly. For goodness sake, Nigerians are still battling with the policy of subsidy removal. Tell me where in the world that government does not subsidize for the people. My friend told us, even wheat in America, a few weeks ago, we heard Ukraine, that is in war, gave Nigeria wheat. Where is even the wheat they gave to Nigerians? Who knows where that wheat went to? And those in government came up to be defending, even when some of us say, how can Ukraine that is fighting war, that is in war, be giving us food to eat? They came and defended it. They defended it because it's meant for only them, the few. Now, electricity again. Electricity ought to be the right of the people. God said, let there be light. And Nigerian leaders are saying, no, let there be no light. That is what they have come up with this policy of electricity hike. Even when we are not seeing the electricity, you are hiking what we cannot see. I will not come here and begin to paint it for those in government or for government. I will not do that. I will tell them the chloroquine bitter truth, whether or not they want to listen, whether or not they want to take it. We cannot continue like this in this country. It's telling so hard on every one of us. Like in my place now, for the past 3-4 days, we've not seen light. But at the end of the day, BEDC will come up with bills and expect you to pay. And they will bring estimated bill. Maybe they will bring 80,000 naira. There was a time we faced that kind of situation in my place. They'll bring 80,000 naira. Then they will tell you, okay, go and pay 40,000, half of it. Then when you pay, before you know, that month runs out, they will come again and say, oh, so much we have accumulated. Until you people pay 200,000 naira each, you will not be reconnected. You begin to run up and down to see how we can connect ourselves. And we will not give them that money. And they are happier. They take money for job, for services not rendered. That is what we are seeing. This electricity hike is unreasonable, is senseless, and does not make any meaning. Nigerians it's unfortunate that Nigerians are just dormant, perhaps because the government has rendered every one of us redundant. In the mind, we are redundant. In everything we do, we are redundant. Somebody will just say, oh, if I see about it, it's okay. Is that all about life? What is the primary function of government? Even security, the government cannot guarantee us of that. Now they've told us that security is everybody's responsibility. Now they have brought those oil subsidy. They have come up again with the electricity subsidy remover. Who knows? The next one will be breath subsidy remover. All right. So we cannot keep absorbing the pains. The government should look at the people and say, no, we cannot keep punishing, because I see this as punishment.
Punishment.
Nigerians are going through tough time. If we are battling with one policy that is not people friendly, and you are adding another one, like the saying goes, when tree fall on top tree, you remove the first one way there on top. But this one now, we begin to see heaps of trees falling on one another. So which one do we remove? I think it's a style that the government has adopted to impoverish the people the more.
All right. Mr. Banko, you heard him. He said, after all, Nigeria, we are not in an ideal society. Hence, your calculation, though ideally done, may not hold water in Nigeria, because someone's going to have an estimated bill. It's not about them being served 80,000 naira per month. Okay, fine, go pay half of the percent. Come back again to say you have to go and pay everything, or else you will be disconnected. Tricks upon tricks. Can they be trusted?
Well, the thing about it is, while we are discussing this issue, we should be very careful to give members of the public a wrong impression. I'm saying that in view of the fact that we as opinion leaders, we have a lot to tell the public. And every friend talking about breath subsidy removal, is your breath being subsidized? Do you understand? So let's be very practical. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's be very practical. Your breath is not being subsidized. So you're trying to play to the gallery by saying that. And in any case, I don't think there's any government that will want to deliberately impoverish its people, except the government is very wicked. And even if I agree that this policy, if not well managed, is capable of impoverishing the people, I would say that we that are the people should find a way to engage the government constructively. We will not make any headway if we keep talking. The problem I have with the average Nigerian person is that they love to talk, and talk is cheap. So how are you going to engage the government? You engage the government constructively. Activities, by running on activities that will get the attention of the government. I have been involved with a lot of advocacy activities in this country, but I'm tired. The reason I'm tired is because the same people you advocate for will be the first to push you if they see you are nearing the gorge, to push you to fall. So what I do now, I just sit down, they look now. Because to be very frank, the average Nigerian is not worth dying for. That's the truth of the matter. The average Nigerian is not worth dying for. So, as far as me I'm concerned, I have a new posture. If it's something I can help, I will help. But I will never go out of my way to put my life on the line for anybody, because nobody has done that for me. And this is very, very practical.
Are you giving up on Nigerians right now? From the way you're talking, are you giving up on Nigerians?
Nigerians have given up on me.
Are you giving up on Nigerians? That's the question.
Nigerians, I can never give up on this country because I love this country. There are things I do quietly for the development of this country. You talked about me not coming to TV to talk. I do a lot of advocacy. I do a lot of, even in courts, I do a lot in courts to ensure that the right things are done. Do you understand? So I want us to look at Nigeria as a project. The first mistake you will make is to feel that the government is an enemy. Then you are maybe like you are here. Do you understand? I agree with him, my Nellet friend, Mr. Obakolo, when he said that even the local government, they are not close to the people. What we have is not local government. We have local gods who take themselves as teen gods. Do you understand? Because if you were really a local government, if you know the meaning of the word, when I was growing up in this Benin, you used to see local government tie your earth road every three months. It was a given. They would do it in January, do it in April, do it in July, just like that, about 4 or 5 times, about 4 times in a year. That's the way you had local government. You see local government going for sanitary inspection. We used to call them eco, those things we were growing up. Where are they? They are now running parks in front of people's houses. In your house, they will be collecting money for parks. So not local government, local gods, teen gods. Because why I'm saying that is because everybody is looking at Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, and like Atiku Abubakar said, he said the presidential villa is a presidential prison, where the president is held captive by his aides, where they tell him what he wants to hear. They tell him what they want him to hear. They show to him only what they want him to see. And they take him to only where they want him to go to. That is someone that has a presidential experience. As loud as I am, if I cry for nothing tomorrow, Tinubu will not hear me. Because he's dealing with other issues. He's dealing with ECOWAS, dealing with African Union. That's why he has ministers. So what we do is that we engage the Minister of Power, Mr. Adelabu, and ask him some very opposite question. Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world where the Minister of Power himself is even carrying power bank. Do you understand? So
carry power bank.
Yes, Minister of Power carries power bank. You understand? Okay. You understand? So if Minister of Power can carry power bank, then what do you expect yourself to do? The first thing, let us be as a people. Let us love our country. The reason Nigeria is the way it is because there is no love. We don't love our country. The running of a country is very, very complex and very important. For example, if somebody comes into your neighborhood now, where you live, and you know this person is not a Nigerian, do you just leave him and you report to the nearest police station, or you report to the immigration? Okay, let's assume you report to the position of the immigration. Let's assume the immigration or the police arrest him now. What will they do with him? Will they collect money to let him go? Or they will ask him to prove his citizenship? Those little things that we do or we don't do is what leads to the bigger picture. That's why you see you have kidnapping, banditry, armed robbery on the roads. Because we don't love this country. If you love Nigeria, there are some things you can never do. Like me, I love Nigeria. There are some things I don't do. There are some offers I will never take. I will stay on my own and say, instead, I want to be how I am. Let us show love, patriotism, the American national anthem. When you listen to the anthem, you will know that this is a country. I prefer the first national anthem than this one.
You're talking about patriotism, yes, but now they're saying increment and tariff. Would that bring patriotism or anger?
I'm telling you that if the minister is patriotic and you are the citizen, you're also patriotic, you will engage each other. You will engage each other legally. I'm not talking about, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Because a patriotic minister will know that, like I rightly said, and my learned friend, I concur with you, it's not the right time to increase electricity tariffs.
Okay. Now, he talked about engaging the minister, even in court. Do you see Nigerians doing this? He spoke about patriotism, that we have to be patriotic for us to engage the minister, because Tinubu, according to him, is like busy with older things. That's why we have ministers, which is very correct. Do you see any one of us having the guts to engage the ministers in court, especially the minister of power, knowing fully well that this is affecting Nigerians negatively?
In a decent or sane society, the best approach is to engage the minister.
In a decent or sane society,
yes. But in this, in our styled democracy, and how governance is run in Nigeria, you discover that I did say from the outset of our discussion here that the government have been lifted above the people. So, how do you engage a government that is lifted above the people? How do you engage it?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut in, sir. I'm sorry. I need to let you know something. And I'll give you practical experience. The customs roadblock at the Kiadolo was a very big problem. I belong to a group, the policy and advocacy group. We engaged the Nigeria Customs Service. At the time they dismantled it, when they brought it back, they did the right thing. Do not take it for granted that even what you are saying right here on TV, that it doesn't make a change. It does. Do not have this impression that the government is above to where? Are they in mast? The government is either your brother, my sister, my cousin. Think about it.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say is that engaging government, government listens.
Okay.
Government is made up of human beings that have flesh and blood.
I'll come back to you, Banko.
Yes, sir.
He said government listens and you engage them constructively. So please continue with the point you're making.
Ordinarily, the government ought to have engaged the people before coming up with the policies. You don't come up with draconian policies and just sit somewhere and say the decisions have been taken. This is the policy. Take it hook, line, and sinker. The bitter pill, swallow it. No! The government would have called stakeholders, get their opinions, present the template to the people, to the stakeholders, and say this is the situation we find ourselves. The government has inherited this and this and this from past administrations, and this is the situation we are. What do we do? I bet you Nigerians will bring good opinions that when by the time the government seeks to implement that policy, you will not hear the kind of complaint we are complaining now. More so, we agreed, we are already battling with one, which is the subsidy removal. Even the government have not been able to carry out the promise of palliatives. That is one. Two, the government have not been able to carry out salary increase or wage increase as award, as they call it. After some time, we are made to understand. I'm not a civil servant. I'm not a beneficiary of whatever wage, whatever award that will be given to Nigerians. I will not be a beneficiary.
But indirectly, you benefit also.
Now, I am saying that by the time you engage stakeholders and they bring up their opinions, and you, as a government, you carry an arithmetic approach on the opinions so tendered to you, and you come up with your master plan. But where the government did not engage any person, just come out and dish out the policies, and you are not saying Nigeria should go and engage the government. That government just is not ready for any form of engagement. That is my conclusion. Because if the government does, the government would have first engage the people. Government is, we are meant to understand, is government of the people, by the people, for the people. Is that not government? Then if now you cannot engage the people and you have already dished out the policy and you say the people should come and engage you, will that government listen? The answer is a no.
But not to you. Said it, government didn't engage the people before they come out with this kind of Draculian policy. How do you think they will come now to listen to you when you were not consulted before this was done?
The first thing you must do if you are a Nigerian is to understand how your country works, or you become a pawn in a complex game of chess. Why did I say that? The government indeed engaged the people, and I'll tell you why.
How?
They did with trade unions, professional bodies, interest groups, stakeholders. They did. I saw it. They had meetings. Why do you think they will call for strike and they will call it off by 12 midnight? What happens by 12 midnight that they call it off? Have you asked yourself that question? Why do they always call strike off while you are sleeping? Ask yourself. I won't say more than that. The problem we have with Nigeria is that everybody is forming an activist when he's not in government. The leadership of this country does not come from planet Mars. It comes from among us. Let's be very frank. A country gets the kind of leadership it deserves. The trade unions, when the Minister of Power called them for trade unions, so when they called the trade unions for meeting, what happened? The government will not just come and say, this is my policy. No. There were engagements. The president of the NLC, Joe Ajero, is the most powerful man in the power sector. If you don't know now, he might even be more powerful than Minister of Power. Joe Ajero has been secretary of the Nigerian Union of Electricity Employees for over 30 years. He was one of those that facilitated all this BEDC, EDC. Go and check it. He's an insider. He's the president of the NLC. So let's be very frank.
Are you saying he's not aware?
Listen.
Hold on.
Let me finish, my brother.
Let him finish.
Let me tell you, I'm not at my stage. I'm not scared of saying the truth. I know this country to an extent. I'm telling you what I know, not say that the government did not engage. I will not play to the gallery. I'm not that kind of. That's not at this stage of my life. I will tell you the way it is. Even when the minister announced it, who were those that were in the hall? Have you asked yourself the question? It was a big hall. About on the media men who were there. So let's call a spade a spade. These people will just come and be speaking English up and down. Everybody know what is happening. We know what is happening. These people are just, if you are a trade union leader, I have been in leadership of an association. I know how we engage. We don't take nonsense. We are going. And so, not on this one, you go and you call strike. Tuesday and Wednesday strike. 12 midnight on Monday night. When people are sleeping, you call it off. People will not go to work that day. That day is already wasted. Then you now announce that in the morning, they will now come and announce that there's no strike. It's becoming a joke. As far as me I'm concerned, the last NLC president we had, to an extent, is that I'm so sure. To an extent. I know I said to an extent. The days of Pascal Bafao, even inside the military rule, Pascal Bafao will tell Ibrahim Babangida, the president, and say, there will be no work for 7 days. Babangida will be. Olusegun Mayegun, as president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, around 1991, told Babangida and his wife, may I so rest perfect peace, Miriam Babangida, that this is your so-called Better Life program for rural women. You will scrap it because it's a jamboree. If you don't scrap it, Nigeria will burn. The then NSO, the NSA, went on a manhunt from Mayogun all across the country. Like, catch me if you can. You understand? They were looking for him. This was just a student leader. Femi Falawan said recently that the National Association of Nigerian Students are the mouthpiece of government, and they came out and they started talking bullshit.
Watch your language, you're on air.
Sorry, okay.
Watch your language.
They came out and started saying, we're not the mouthpiece of government. You are the mouthpiece of government. I was a student leader myself. I was a student leader, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not, so the student, we don't have student leaders anymore. Just people just come and they just, they do washi, award. Give award to this, give award to this, is that what they ask you to do? Even professional organizations now, the people they should be criticizing, they'll be giving them awards. You will see an association that your major objective is to promote the rule of law or to be the conscience of society. You will see them, the people that they will criticize. This Minister of Power, do you know him? May have gotten an award last week from the people he ordinarily would have engaged with. So everybody is doing their own. Nigeria is like a brand. Everybody is trading. Everybody is trading. That's the truth. Let's call it a spade. Everybody is a trader in this country. They're trading with the Nigerian brand. So don't come and give the impression that the government is, everybody is involved. All the stakeholders, they are involved in this thing I'm talking about.
All right, I'll come back to you, Barrister Bankwa. You heard him. He said, yes, there was an engagement. He mentioned top echelons, even the labor. He mentioned enough people say that he has been the secretary for electricity, whatever is being called for quite a long time. He gave an example of past labor leaders, past NAS leaders. Where are we today? After all, there was an engagement. Really, the hall wasn't empty. You saw the clip. It wasn't empty.
On your news crew, I just read the National Assembly distancing itself from the Electricity Act.
Why didn't they distance themselves when they were buying 200 million cars for each of them?
Were they involved?
Because it doesn't affect them.
Hold on, he has the floor now.
NLC is also distancing itself from the Electricity Act. Were they involved?
So who are those now involved?
See, just like he said, Nigeria is a brand. Then, do we allow it to remain a brand where everybody comes straight, go your home, get what you want to get, and leave the others for those who will come after you? Is that how a country is run? How do we survive this? That is why some of us have taken it as a responsibility to say, no, I think Nigeria can be better for all of us. I think so. Nigeria can be better for all of us. Wherein we should begin to consider the kind of policies government make. Because one, the policy can affect the people negatively or positively. Then in a situation where a particular policy affects the people negatively, what do? Do we fold our hands and cross our legs?
But you said there was no engagement. But you said there was no engagement. There was no engagement. So who were those people that discussed before they came up with that particular absurd price hike?
If there was no engagement, that is the truth. There was never any engagement.
But the one was.
I haven't listened. Wait, you go to. I haven't listened to Adedibu, the Minister for Power.
Yes.
When we saw some persons, the press, we saw some persons in the hall. We know how in Nigeria how things go. At times, a particular minister can call for a conference or a town hall discussion.
Yeah.
Before you know, they will be selecting those who will enter. We know how that. Those who have voice, particularly those who are the lonely voice in the wilderness, they will not be given that opportunity. But when you make it that you make it open and say, okay, you can submit a paper, you can make your own contribution. Who will contribute? First, what is the state of the Nigerian economy? We have a government that is even defending the state of Nigerian economy, which they inherited from past governments. We have that kind of situation. But when they see that, it is going to be to the benefit of the people, they will say, no, we inherited terrible economy. But when it is to their benefit, the past administration tried, we are only going to continue from where past administration stopped. Our president told us that he's going to continue from where Buhari stopped. He told us that. And you and I know where Buhari stopped. Is that a good place to continue from? And indeed, he's continuing from where Buhari stopped. And that is why it is very hard. These policies are draconian. There's no any other name one can give to it. So coming here to sit before the television and to tell Nigerians that the government did engage stakeholders, engage the people, I said it's not true.
For you, it's not true?
Yes, I said it's not true.
But there was an engagement somewhere.
What? No, there was never any engagement. You cannot engage the National Assembly and they are distancing themselves. You cannot do that. They are the government. The National Assembly members are part of the government. They are the government. And now they are saying, no, we were not aware.
Obankwa.
You know, the first problem with Nigerians is that we are too emotional and sentimental. Let me ask you this question, frankly. Where will Tinubu continue from? Will it be where Buhari started from? It's common sense. Where Buhari stopped, well, I'll continue from there. Do you understand what I'm saying? You Nigerians just like making the truth of the matter. Look at it. I will continue from where Buhari stopped. May 29th, Buhari stopped. The man continued to cover. And you are saying he should not continue from where he stopped. There should not be a vacuum in government.
Nigeria.
Let's be very practical. I just needed to just make that a little bit of comic relief. Because the guy stopped on the 29th of May 2023. The guy continued from there. Simply so. So, on a very serious note, to look at what my little friend is saying, I will say it again. Maybe you think about it. Nigeria is a brand. Everyone is trading. I know what I'm saying. Do you understand? Nobody should come and tell me any bullshit before the
Watch your language again. Come on. Second point.
Nobody should tell me what does not add up. Sorry. I withdraw that and I apologize to my viewers. I'm sorry about that. Now look at this. Before the president removed the subsidy, there are very powerful people that were called for meetings in Aso Rock. I mean powerful opinion leaders, human rights activists. They went for meetings. After those meetings, the president removed subsidy. Did you hear anything from them again? Do you understand? So what I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes we just say, hey, this, that. Let's be very frank. If the president knows how to engage the system and balance things up, downs tension, there's kind of sophistry in his artistry, the way he does his things. I am not in support of the removal of, of the subsidy in the electricity subsidy, or would I say the increase in the
tariff.
I'm not in support. I myself, I'm a victim just like you. I know how much I am paying right now, and if we were to go with this regime, I know how much I'll be paying. So to be very frank, Nigerians are going to suffer, and I implore the federal government to please take a second look at it, because my own is that the primary purpose of government, apart from the protection of life and property, is the welfare of its citizens. And if government is not able to make life comfortable for its citizens, I don't think that's something we should be proud of. So I want to call on the Minister of the Power and Steel to please look at it very well. And those people who it is their responsibility, because the running of a state is not one man's business. We have the Nigerian Bar Association, we have the Nigerian Union of Journalists, we have the Nigerian Medical Association, we have some very powerful organizations, like advocacy groups. Let us do our bit in building the nation. Herimbalo, in the poem Building the Nation by Herimbalo, he said, today I did my share in building the nation. I took the PS to an important, urgent function. He said, and the menu depicts its importance. Cold beer with small talk. Ice cream to cover the olo laugh. And coffee to keep the PS awake on return journey. That is just more or less like the situation in Nigeria. For example, you want to launch a program. Why must you do an elaborate ceremony that will cost us 300 million naira? Why not just put it directly and say, why must you commission a road? Sometimes the money you use to commission your project is more than the one you use executing the road. There's too much wastages in this country. Why should somebody have over 100 cars in his convoy? As a commissioner, why should you have a Hilux attached to you? Why not just your car and the police only in front? Who's after you? Why should we have a situation where doing state functions and there's so much wastage? And why shouldn't you do local? Look at all of us now, the way we are now, we're in this set. We're all wearing local clothes. Do you know what this means? The tailor will chop. Delivery man will eat from inside. The woman doing materials will eat. The person ironing will eat from inside. You are doing party in government house or in the state house in Abuja. You are ordering food from Mexico or a menu from Mexico. You will give us, what's it called, eba and black soup with bushmeat, so that the man who is killing bushmeat will sell. The person doing gari will sell. The woman that is plucking the leaf will sell. Nigerian leaders, I've had what do you call it, a privilege of meeting the governor, not a state government, the governor in Abuja. And I told him, I said, why don't you guys do local content? Do you understand? Why should the menu be pizza? Where there's bobozi? Are you Japanese? Put bobozi there, so that the person that is cutting bobozi will sell.
You sell.
That's how you drive an economy, not what they are doing. I just laugh when I watch Nigeria and these people are not ready. The first thing in driving an economy is that you speak to the economy. You speak to it. You could just say, right now, we are going to be patronizing local farmers because in government house, we are going to be doing only local dishes. That alone, you are sending people to the farm. They say, where am I going to be part of? People are moving to the farm on their own. Why should we wear natives in offices only on Fridays? Then we wear suits Monday to Thursday. Why shouldn't we wear more of native attires than suits? Why must we be doing a wedding? We call the white man's traditional wedding white wedding, and we call ours traditional wedding. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yes.
The white man wedding is higher and above that of the one that our forefathers made. So these are the things we need to start thinking outside the box, changing our paradigm.
All right, thank you.
If you want to change this country, you change yourself.
Thank you so much, Barrister Bankwa. I think we'll be commenting our dissent right now in the first discussion segment. Before we go, Barrister Emmanuel, can we really sue the minister for that announcement? Can one really, because both of you are legal practitioners, can one really sue? So that he can get to realize that Nigerians are not happy about it. We have great minds, great senior advocates of Nigeria. I've not heard of them say they're going to sue. Don't they have the right to sue?
No, they may not come up to tell the public that they want to sue. I know they will do that. Even Sarah will go to court with respect to this policy.
How many cases have Sarah won?
That is another question. What are they winning? No, winning is not the issue now. Is were they able to test
the waters?
Yes, to see that, look, Nigerians are not really happy with this policy, and that this policy will inflict more pain.
I agree with you on that, yes.
Are you getting me?
I agree with you.
So that we'll look at, we'll begin to, the government need to, one, have the people at heart. If the people of Nigeria are not in Nigeria, there won't be any government. So it is because there are people, that's why we have government. And government should be able to carry out its responsibilities for the people.
All right, thank you so much. So, Barrister Bankwa, are you joining the suit, right? As per, this is too much. We are suing you to court.
No, we will not go to court.
Told you.
Nigerians really, we are suffering. I've almost said they are. No, we are, because we are all Nigerians. Come on. 225 per hour? Think about it. Does it make sense to you? I don't know. It's annoying. It's frustrating. Maybe someone should really sue. Let's see. Let's just see if we can test the waters to sue, and let's see if they'll revert it, because someone said they just can't rely on labor anymore. Like what Barrister Bankwa said, he said to an extent, the only one he knew really performed was Adam Toshobole to an extent. All that is not satisfied with their performance. What are we really doing as a nation? Are we moving forward, or we are dragging backward? What about the welfare of the people? With this increment, is it going to make Nigerians happier, or will I say desperate, frustrated, and sad? Think about it. I think it's high time they did a review in this particular price hike. Whatever. We're just all tired.